students, I'm Dr. Sukhwant Singh, Associate Professor, SIRTS Pharmacy, the Sage Group Bhopal. Dear students, in my last class, we were talking about the basics of pharmacology, and we have already completed the basics and we have talked about the roots of drug administration. In today's class, we are going to summarize and revise about the topic of pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. So now let me take you to my presentation where we can start discussing. So dear students, as we have already talked about the basics of pharmacology, wherein we have talked about routes of administration, we talked about the therapeutic window, we talked about the various drug receptor interactions and other concepts as that came along in our topic of pharmacology's basics. Now I'm going to talk about pharmacokinetics, and we'll be discussing about the membrane transport, absorption and distribution of drugs. When we talked about the basics of pharmacology, I told you that pharmacokinetics has everything to do with what can be the fate of the drug because of the body. So, in simpler words, we can say that pharmacokinetic is what the body does to the drug. That means when the drug is ingested, then the first phenomenon that should take place is absorption of the drug. And the absorption of the drug is done by the body components. It can be the site from where the drug is being absorbed, like it can be an oral site, or it can be transdermal or intravenous. It is all the body's components that are going to affect. Then after the absorption, the next phenomenon is distribution or storage. I mean, the drug can be taken up by and be bound to the protein plasma and the plasma protein, and it can be stored in other locations, or the drug can be distributed all across the body via the routes of blood and the systemic circulation, wherein the blood can reach various sites across the body, and after the action of the drug has completed, the drug is to be excreted through a suitable route, that is through the urine or through the bile or other routes. So the processes of absorption, distribution and storage, these are basically distribution, storage and finally the excretion. These are basically incorporated under the pharmacokinetics. So pharmacokinetics is basically in simpler words what the body does to the drug. So body absorbs the drug in a suitable dosage form, and from this dosage form, the drug is released. If we take a tablet, then this tablet, if it is through the oral route, the tablet disintegrates in the gastric fluid. And from the gastric fluid, the drug is released in a solution and it comes into the solution. Now, after the drug has come into the solution, the distribution and the storage phase starts. The fate of the drug can be that either the drug in the solution can be picked up by the blood, and the drug can either be in form of a free drug, or this drug can bind directly to the protein and it can be termed as the protein bound drug. And this drug, after coming into the blood circulation, can have two fates. First of all, either it can reach the site of action, where again it can either be in a bound form or a free form. Usually the free drug reaches the site, and from this site of action, it is intertransformable into either bound form or a free form, or this free drug can directly reach to the storage tissue, and it can be held as a bound drug and can be stored for future use. Another thing that can happen is that this bound drug or the free drug undergoes biotransformation reactions and comes back into the blood for excretion from the body, or vice versa. And secondly, this free drug can also undergo various biotransformation reactions, which are we have discussed in our regular classes as phase 1 and phase 2 reactions. And after biotransformation, this drug converts into its metabolites And these metabolites, which can either be active metabolites or inactive metabolites, and their work in the body has completed, they have achieved their objectives, then these metabolites or even the free drug, if it is not interconvertible, it can be released out of the body, it can be excreted out of the body through various routes like urine, like through bile, through feces, through sweat or saliva. So these three processes, absorption, distribution and storage, and excretion, these constitute pharmacokinetics. And this is what the body does to the drug. Now let us talk about the biological membrane. This is a very crucial part. This is a bilayer which is about 100 angstroms thick, and it is made up of phospholipid and cholesterol molecules. The polar groups like glyceryl phosphate, it is attached to the ethylamine choline or hydroxyl group of cholesterol. And these are oriented at the two surfaces, and the non-polar hydrocarbon are embedded in the matrix to form a continuous sheet. So this is a bilipid layer where heads and tails are arranged in such a fashion that both of the head surfaces are towards the exterior of the layer, and the hydrophilic tails are present inside, towards the inside. And this bilayer is about 100 angstroms thick and made up of phospholipids and cholesterol molecules. Now, some proteins are embedded inside this bilayer, which have got variety of functions. I mean, they can work as transport channels, they can work as receptors, or whatever their function might be. These proteins are embedded inside this bilayers. And similarly, some glycoproteins are also embedded inside this cell membrane, which can also act as variety of which can act variety of functions as the time comes. Now, drugs are transported across this membrane by two main phenomenon. The first one is passive diffusion and filtration, and the second one is the specialized transport. And this passive diffusion happens to be the chief mechanism through which most of the drugs are transported across the membrane. So in passive diffusion, we know that anything which is present inside at a higher concentration on some side, it crosses the membranes to reach a site where its concentration is very low. So these type of transports are called as passive diffusion, where they transfer from higher concentration to lower concentration. And the membrane which is present is having character of lipophilic. So anything that is lipophilic in nature will easily cross from higher concentration to lower concentration. And what is filtration? Filtration is something, when there is an aqueous pore or paracellular space which facilitates the transfer, and by this mechanism, all the hydrophilic components which are soluble in water, they are able to cross the membrane through this aqueous pore or paracellular spaces. So clearly, the substances which are lipid soluble or hydrophobic in nature, they tend to diffuse across the membrane, which is lipophilic membrane, and reach from higher concentration to lower concentration. And for the hydrophilic substances, the filtration process takes place through aqueous pores. Now, the second category of transport of the drug across the membrane is by specialized transport. But before that, let us discuss some features of passive diffusion. The drug crosses across the membrane in the direction of its concentration gradient, the membrane playing no active role in the process. This means the active word here indicates the expenditure of energy. And here we are writing the membrane playing no active role in the process means no energy is spent for the drug when it diffuses across membrane in the direction of its concentration gradient. Here I would also like to emphasize the importance of lipophilicity versus hydrophilicity. That if the membrane is in itself having character of lipophilicity, then lipophilic drug will be able to diffuse across the membrane, whereas hydrophilic portions or hydrophilic molecules will not be able to diffuse across the membrane. And similarly, pH is also having a very great influence. Here we can see that the drug which is unionized, only that is able to cross the membrane. The ionized drug is not able to cross the membrane. So the pH on which a molecule ionizes is very important, and if a membrane is having different pH across it, for example here in this example, the pH is 5 on this side of the membrane and pH is 7 on this side of the membrane, then definitely the molecule which is unionized will be able to cross, whereas the ionized molecule will not be able to cross this membrane, and as a result the concentration gradient, here we can see here only one molecule is present in ionized form, here 100 molecules are present in the ionized form. Now let us talk about the specialized transport. Specialized transport in itself tells that a separate or a special type of transport mechanism is developed for transport of the molecules. The first one of the mechanisms is the carrier transport. Here the word carrier opens up all the things. The carrier word tells that the transport is done with help of a carrier, and carrier means it can be like a conveying mechanism. So, in this case, it is a solute carrier transporter. Now, this is a special protein which identifies a substrate and facilitates its transport across the membrane from higher concentration to lower concentration. So this is a poorly diffusible substrate which is not able to cross this membrane, and for this molecule to cross this membrane, a specialized solute carrier transporter molecule is present which can help to bring about the diffusion, and therefore this mechanism is termed as facilitated diffusion. Then we also have carrier transport in the category of active transport. Here the word active has been used, which tells that energy will be spent when any type of transport will take place. That means the ATPs will be converted into ADPs in order to bring about transport. So here again we can see that this molecule ABC, that is ATP binding cassette transporter, this is able to transport the substances from lower concentration to a higher concentration. This is different from diffusion. In diffusion, we saw that from higher concentration to lower concentration, the movement took place. Here also we can see from higher concentration to lower concentration, and in this example also higher concentration to lower concentration movement is occurring. Whereas in carrier transport or in active transport, the transport across the membrane can also be from lower concentration to higher concentration, but the only thing here is that energy expenditure takes place, and hence its name is given as active transport. Now there is another mechanism which is termed as symport. Symport means, sim means on the same direction and port means transportation. So symport utilizes a solute carrier transporter again, and in order to transport one molecule, another molecule is also transferred from the same side. So here we can see that substrate A and substrate B are moving across the membrane, but in order to transport one molecule of the lower concentration substrate, another molecule of the higher concentration substrate is utilized to transfer. यानी एक ही दिशा में दो molecules एक साथ move कर पाएंगे. This is termed as symport. The opposite phenomenon is the antiport, wherein one molecule is taken from the one side and another molecule is taken from another side, and cross transport of these molecules takes place. As a result, concentration of one molecule rises in one side, whereas on the other side it decreases. And this also utilizes a solute carrier transporter. So when the transportation of two molecules is such that it is in opposite direction, it is termed as antiport, and when it is in the same direction, it is termed as symport. Then another mechanism is there. It is called as pinocytosis or the cell drinking. It is the process of transport across the cell in a particular form by formation of vesicles. यानी कि पानी के अंदर साइटोप्लाज्म के अंदर घुला हुआ solute है and it will be transported like a vesicle. This is applicable to proteins and other big molecules and contributes little to the transport of most drugs, bearing few like vitamin B12, which is absorbed from the gut after binding to the intrinsic factor that is a protein. So the students who have joined right now, I would like to welcome you on behalf of Sagar Institute of Research Technology and Science Pharmacy, the SAGE Group. I am your professor, Dr. Sukhwant Singh. Now the next mechanism that occurs is absorption. Absorption is movement of the drug from its site of administration into the circulation. यानी जिस जगह आपने ड्रग एडमिनिस्टर किया वहां वो सॉल्यूशन में चला गया, अब सॉल्यूशन से लेकर के सर्कुलेशन तक जाने का जो प्रोसेस है that is termed as absorption. So it is movement of the drug from its site of administration into the circulation. Now there are some factors which govern the absorption, that whether the absorption will be high or the absorption will be low. The factors are, first one is aqueous solubility, that is ability of the drug molecule to dissolve in water, that is termed as aqueous solubility. Then the second is concentration. Of course, we have talked about the gradient of concentration, that how this movement will take place. Then the third one is area of the absorbing surface, that from where the drug is being absorbed. Then the vascularity of the absorbing surface. Vascularity मतलब वहाँ पे कितना blood supply होता है. ज़्यादा, for example, अगर एक जगह 10 molecule, अपन ने एक इसको इस example से आप समझ लें कि किसी bus stop पे 200 लोग खड़े हैं और किसी bus stop पे 10 लोग खड़े हैं. तो अगर किसी जगह, अगर जहाँ पे 200 ए जगह जहाँ पे 200 लोग खड़े हैं बस स्टॉप पे, अगर वहाँ 100 बसेस आती हैं तो ऑब्वियसली वहां पे ट्रैफिक जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा, rather than दूसरी जगह जहाँ पे 100 लोग खड़े हैं और केवल एक ही बस चल रही है ना. सो वेस्कुलरिटी को हम उस तरीके से समझ सकते हैं, वेस्कुलरिटी ऑफ द एब्जॉर्बिंग सरफेस, कि वहां पे कितना ब्लड सप्लाई है. जितना ज्यादा ब्लड सप्लाई होगा उतनी जल्दी वहां पे ड्रग डिसॉल्व होकर के उस जगह से निकल जाएगा. और लास्टली रूट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, जिसके बारे में बहुत डिटेल में वी हैव ऑलरेडी टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस रूट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन माय प्रीवियस क्लास, that how the route of administration is important for absorption also. Now this is a very important term, bioavailability. Bioavailability is defined as the rate and extent of absorption of a drug from a dosage form as determined by its concentration time curve in the blood or by its excretion in the urine. Now, in general, when we talk about bioavailability, we simply say that the amount of the drug that reaches the systemic circulation is termed as bioavailability. But its official definition or scientific definition is defined as the rate and extent of absorption of a drug from a dosage form as determined by its concentration time curve in blood or even by its excretion in the urine. It is a measure of the fraction F of administered dose of a drug that reaches the systemic circulation in the unchanged form. Here we have to note that the drug should be in the unchanged form. So this is actually the amount of drug which is available for action at the site of action. The bioavailability of a drug which is injected is 100%, but is frequently lower after oral ingestion. This is because the drug may be incompletely absorbed or the drug may undergo first pass metabolism in the intestinal wall or liver to be excreted in the bile. So after oral absorption, sometimes the bioavailability is not 100% because of these two factors, that is incompletely absorbed or first pass metabolism. Then the next phase is distribution of the drug. Once a drug has gained access into the bloodstream, it gets distributed to other tissues that initially had no drug. यानी जहाँ पे पहले ड्रग नहीं था वहां तक ड्रग पहुंच रहा है because क्योंकि ड्रग जो है अब वो सिस्टेमिक सर्कुलेशन में या ब्लड स्ट्रीम में आ चुका है. कंसेंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट बीइंग इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ प्लाज्मा टू टिश्यू, क्योंकि प्लाज्मा जो ब्लड के अंदर है जो ड्रग को लेके कैरी कर रहा है, उसके अंदर कंसेंट्रेशन ड्रग का ज्यादा होगा ऑब्वियसली, और जो प्लाज्मा और वो टिश्यू जहां तक ब्लड पहुंच रहा है वो ऑब्वियसली कंसेंट्रेशन नहीं होगा, देयरफॉर द कंसेंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट will be from the direction of plasma to the tissue. The extent and pattern of distribution of a drug depends on its factors like lipid solubility. जो पैटर्न और एक्सटेंट होगा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का वो लिपिड सॉल्युबिलिटी पे डिपेंड होगा। अगर प्लाज्मा के अंदर ज्यादा सॉल्युबल है और टिश्यू के पास कम सॉल्युबल है फर्ज करो, तो ऑब्वियसली प्लाज्मा के अंदर ज्यादा होगा, और अगर टिश्यू के लिए एफिनिटी ज्यादा है, प्लाज्मा के लिए एफिनिटी कम है, तो डेफिनेटली प्लाज्मा छोड़ करके वो टिश्यू की तरफ चला जाएगा। सो लिपिड सॉल्युबिलिटी इज वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स। देन आयनाइजेशन एट द फिजियोलॉजिकल पीएच, जैसा कि पिछली स्लाइड्स में डिस्कशन किया। एक्सटेंट ऑफ बाइंडिंग टू प्लाज्मा एंड टिश्यू प्रोटीन्स, प्रेजेंस ऑफ टिश्यू स्पेसिफिक ट्रांसपोर्टर्स, जैसे कि हमने एसएलसीज वगैरह में पढ़ा था, एंड डिफरेंसेस इन द रीजनल ब्लड फ्लो, उस एरिया का ब्लड का रीच कितना अच्छा है उसके ऊपर ये डिपेंड करेगा। देन फैक्टर्स गवर्निंग वॉल्यूम ऑफ ड्रग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, आखिर ड्रग कितना डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा, कहां तक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा, इनको हम पढ़ेंगे फैक्टर्स which govern the volume of drug distribution. The first factor is lipid to water partition coefficient of the drug, whether the drug has got more affinity for lipid or more affinity for water. So ऐसी जगह जहां पे वाटर ज्यादा है, फॉर एग्जांपल आई का विट्रस ह्यूमर है या एक्वस ह्यूमर है जो कि जिसका वाटर कंपोनेंट ज्यादा है और ड्रग वाटर सॉल्युबल है, तो ऑब्वियसली उस ह्यूमर के अंदर ड्रग का कंसंट्रेशन बढ़ जाएगा। और सिमिलरली अगर हम किसी एडिपोज टिश्यू की बात करें जो कि लिपिड का बना हुआ है और कोई ड्रग लिपिड सॉल्युबल ज्यादा है, तो ऑब्वियसली वो ब्लड छोड़ करके एडिपोज टिश्यू के अंदर हमको ज्यादा दिखाई देगा। सो ये हम बोल रहे हैं दिस इज द फैक्टर दैट गवर्न्स। सो ये इस फैक्टर का नाम है लिपिड टू वाटर पार्टीशन कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ द ड्रग। सेकंड वन इज ऑफ कोर्स द पीके, उसका जो डिसोसिएशन कांस्टेंट है ड्रग का, कि whether drug remains in the ionized form or the drug is in a freely soluble form. This will also determine whether the drug is how the drug is going to be distributed across the various compartments of the body. Then degree of plasma protein binding, of course, अगर drug की plasma के साथ ज्यादा affinity है तो ज्यादा देर तक bound रहेगी उसके साथ, and equilibrium के principle को follow करते हुए drug plasma को छोड़ेगी. Then affinity for different tissues, whether it has got affinity for the tissue or not. Then another factor is fat to lean body mass ratio. Obviously जो व्यक्ति बहुत ज्यादा जिसके अंदर फैट ज्यादा है तो उसके अंदर फैट सॉल्युबल ड्रग भी ज्यादा एब्जॉर्ब होगी, उसको ज्यादा डोज लगेगा ड्रग का। एंड दिस रेशियो कैन वेरी विद एज, सेक्स, ओबेसिटी एटसेट्रा। एंड लास्टली डिजीजेस लाइक डिजीज स्टेट ऑफ द बॉडी, अगर कोई बॉडी में ऐसा डिजीज है जो कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को अफेक्ट कर सकता है, जैसे कि मान लीजिए उस व्यक्ति को का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल अच्छा नहीं बिकॉज उसका हार्ट ठीक से फंक्शन नहीं कर रहा, सो ही मे हैव अ कंजेस्टिव हार्ट फेलियर प्रॉब्लम, because of that the drug will not be distributing properly across the body. And similarly if the patient is having cirrhosis, then also the drug will not be distributed uniformly. Plasma protein binding is a character which determines how the drug's volume is going to be different across the body and how metabolism will take place and how the drug will act. So almost all the factors of pharmacodynamic will be governed by plasma protein binding. Now most drugs possess physicochemical affinity for plasma protein and get reversibly bound to this plasma. And acidic drugs generally bind to plasma albumin and basic drug to the alpha-1 acid glycoprotein. And binding to albumin is quantitatively more important. Extent of binding depends on the individual compound. No generalization for a pharmacological or chemical class can be made. Even small chemical change can markedly alter the protein binding. और ये प्रोटीन बाइंडिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि ड्रग अगर प्रोटीन के साथ बाइंड रहेगी तो एक्शन के लिए अवेलेबल नहीं होगी, यानी इट विल नॉट बी एबल टू बाइंड टू द रिसेप्टर। हेंस प्रोटीन बाइंडिंग विल आल्सो डिटरमाइन वेरियस अदर फैक्टर्स आल्सो। सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट फार्माकोकाइनेटिक्स। नाउ इन माय नेक्स्ट क्लास वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट फार्माकोडायनामिक्स। So now I take your leave and hopefully I'll talk about pharmacodynamics in my next class. Please let me summarize with you people that pharmacokinetics is what the body does to the drug, and this involves the steps of absorption, distribution, and finally the excretion of the drug from the body through various routes. So signing off for now. Hopefully to see you in the next class. I am Dr. Sukhwant Singh, Associate Professor, SITS Pharmacy, the Sage Group, Bhopal. Have a nice day.